Today, I want to talk about the fragile human experience that we are having, why we are having it, why do we suffer, and how fragile and actually beautiful it is. So, if you are a deep thinker or a truth seeker, this may be a longer video because I'm just going to talk. It's actually been pulling at my heart to make this video recently. It's something that I've wanted to talk about because I've seen the fragileness of life. When we actually take a look at it, when we awaken to our true nature and to truth itself, it shows us how fragile this experience is and how temporary this experience is, this human experience. And what's important in the ones we love are where we should put time and energy. You know, having a family, having a child, my own son, has really shown me how fragile this human experience is. Like I said, how temporary it is. You know, most of the time, we just think we're waking up every day and continuing on. Almost as there's this sense as we're going to live forever. Now, I know what we truly are doesn't die, but this personal, localized experience does come to an end. What you know as your life and what seems like your individual life does come to an end. One thing is guaranteed: we all die. Every single one of us. That's the ending of this personal story. So whenever I speak about this in this video, just understand that I'm not talking about our true nature. I'm talking about Alex's individual story, my family, my life, what seems to be the real and only reality. I don't mean to scare you by saying we all die. I don't mean to be negative. I don't mean to be anything. It's the truth. Most of us don't like to face it because we cling on to this story. We cling on to the human experience and we can never imagine it ending. All of our loved ones, everything we believe we are, gone, forgotten, never to be known again. Kind of like when you go to sleep. Awareness is still there, but your story isn't. Who you believe you are isn't there. Nothing is there but pure awareness. I'll have videos diving into the fear of death, what I personally believe death is, and things of that nature. But when you truly wake up to seeing and knowing what you are and the oneness that is shared amongst us all, you know, it gives you a new perspective because the human experience doesn't go away. The suffering doesn't go away. The stress, the anxiety, and fear doesn't go away. Now, we've established this in many other videos that it lessens the grip. You can't lose yourself being consumed to all of those feelings and sensations. You can't lose yourself to the material world because you know your true self, but the character's role is still played. The show must go on. This is the whole structure of this material world, is a societal structure designed by different cultures, by different beliefs and ideologies. that we are all playing our own individual role in. Some of us invested more, some of us not as invested, not as interested, seeming to find the peace in life instead of the fighting and the arguing and the anger, like the politics, the beliefs and the religions that separate us, the cultures that separate us. See, I'd much rather spend time out here. The sound of the birds, crickets, green, trees, grass, bushes, and most importantly, the sun. This is where I find peace. Relaxing, soaking it in. But having a son, having a family, I love them. I love them dearly. Now, many would argue that's attachment. That's clinging on to. You know, when it comes to this waking up and it comes to the spiritual awakening, it doesn't have to stop you from the human experience. For myself personally, as I've mentioned in other videos, I was consumed by fear and anxiety, lost within it, lost within stories, within mind, thoughts and narratives that I thought were my life. Awakening has shown me that that is nothing but lies and imaginary illusions, and it has shown me truth. But there's still a human experience, and it doesn't have to be bad. What spiritual awakening can do is actually help you embrace. It can help you learn to love. It can help you learn to not fight against this human experience, because it shows you how temporary it really is, how fragile it really is. You know, the thinking that's really been pulling me to make this video is one day this human experience will be gone. It seems like the only thing that's real. Like I say, it seems like, and I'm not claiming it is, it seems like to many that is the only thing that is real, is your individual life. We know there's something greater. We know there's a bigger picture. We feel it. We know there's a oneness that is all shared. We experience it. But this human experience is also something real in itself. It's like a beautiful dance between the bigger picture and this localized experience. The stress, the suffering, the fighting, and the arguing never completely goes away. It's just not the nature of the human experience. But the bigger picture helps you dissolve all of that and see what is actually true and what is actually worth putting your energy into, not losing yourself to this human experience. It's beautiful. I look into my son's eyes and I know he is the same thing as me. The same thing as me, seeming to have a localized, separate experience. But I still play the father's part, and he plays the son part. My girlfriend, looking into her eyes, knowing she is the same thing as me. We are the same thing as each other, the one source, consciousness, awareness. But we are all playing our parts. And that human experience is so incredibly designed, constructed, built. It's a beautiful masterpiece. It is not always perfect. And matter of fact, it is far from it. And what even is perfect? These are just my terms I'm using, but there's also a lot of beauty within it. There's love, there's compassion, there's relationships. And when you awaken, you can see the roles, you can see the parts, the flavors. You can see it all. You know it's a show, you know it's a play, but that doesn't mean it isn't fun to be experienced. It's not about separating yourself from the whole thing. It's about knowing the truth about reality, knowing the truth about life, and that the human experience is not the only thing that exists. There is something that even allows it to exist. I always use the term the canvas in which the painting is on, the TV, the screen in which the movie is playing. There's some beauty to this movie. It's beautiful to see my son look at me and smile. And you know, when waking up and seeing this truth, it even unleashes a new undiscovered beauty that I never experienced before. So let this video be about the beautifulness of the human experience, because it is beautiful. I used to hate my life. I used to hate it because I thought that it was the only thing there was, and I was just at its mercy. But when you awaken, when you see this truth, you see how beautiful it actually is. I really encourage you. I really encourage you. I really encourage you. I'm not preaching and telling you what to do, but this is speaking from my heart and calling me from my heart. I really encourage you to dive in to playing the part, but not losing yourself to it. And what I mean is, if you have loved ones, if you have a family, if you have friends, experience and embrace those relationships, and experience and embrace the human experience, knowing it isn't all there is. It isn't the final stage. It isn't the final picture. But with knowing that in mind, embracing it to that level, because one day it will be gone. Your perceived reality will end. It will. I will no longer see what I believe my son to be one day. And that's the fragileness of it. But that's also the beauty of it. Because you're safe and you know that you're always home. But enjoy the experience while you have it. That's really all I wanted to say today in this video. Embrace the beauty that when you awaken is revealed within the play of life. Your part is still there. It can now just be played differently with opened eyes. You can see the bigger picture. You can see the performance. You no longer have to lose yourself to the character's role. As a matter of fact, you realize that the play wasn't that evil and bad that you assumed it to be and once believed it to be. And now you see a beauty that you can touch, taste, feel, and experience even more. I encourage you, dive in, but don't be consumed. One day it will be gone. Thank you for being here, Truth Seekers, and watching another video. Just something I wanted to share today. I love you all. Love your experience while it's here. Might as well.